So check it out. We're talking about Andrew Luck, Colts quarterback, the NFL football team, the Indianapolis Colts quarterback. His announcement was retiring. What happened over the weekend. And there's been a lot of reaction to that. Obviously, this is a franchise, or was a franchise quarterback, a tremendous talent who's given so much to that city. And obviously, that is a huge loss from a football standpoint for that team and for that city. But, I probably would have talked about that anyway because it's a big story. But the reaction of the fans, some of the fans, to boo Andrew Luck really sort of propelled me to speak about this. Because as I said in the last segment, I was a national world-class athlete a good bit of my life. I've trained professional athletes. I train athletes training for the Olympics and stuff like that. I trained, NFL athletes. I've been to camps, things like that. And just knowing just through stories and seeing stuff and my own training, just what goes into being an athlete at that level. And now retell part of the story that I kind of put on pause last segment. And if you want, by the way, if you want to join in here, because I know Miami and South Florida may want to talk about this, 786-633-5927 is the number to call. What I want to know from you, South Florida, is do you agree or disagree with the reaction of the fans to, some of them who booed Andrew Luck? Do you say, well, John, they weren't really booing Andrew Luck. They were booing because they were not happy that, they want to see their team do well, but it had nothing to do with Andrew Luck? Or do you agree with me that was maybe an inappropriate reaction? That wasn't a fair reaction to Andrew Luck. That wasn't a fair reaction to a quarterback that has done so much for that city and that community for so long. That was out of bounds, and you don't agree with it. I want to know what you think at 786-633-5927. But what I was talking about is, I'm getting up there in age, right? I have a young daughter, I'm a father, I'm going to school, professional, all that type of stuff, married, everything. And, I have various injuries, various ailments. Any given day, I feel great, and people would, never guess my age, and I can do a lot of physical stuff. I'm still strong, everything like that. Nothing near what I was, obviously, but I'm trying a totally different focus. You have to switch those gears and downshift. And I would refer you to people like Howie Long, Michael Strahan, and some of their comments after they retired. But any other given day, it's like, oh my goodness, my back's jacked, this hurts, elbow, blah, 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 all the various injuries. And it's like a truck hit me, and my wife's like, what did you do? And it was one of those days where, I was working, and one of my coworkers, someone had commented who was way younger, way younger than me, and even younger than Andrew Luck and stuff like that. Like, hey, just talking about my championships and different things like that. Just seeing that I was having not the greatest day. I was having a bad day. Was asking me, hey, was it worth it, John? Was it worth it to get all those championships and stuff like that? And this relates to Andrew Luck, right? And I'm like, to me, when someone asks that question, they may already have an answer in their mind, right? No, it's not, and look at or whatever. And my answer to that was, that's an impossible question to answer. It's an impossible question to answer because you're only answering that question from the time period that you're at now. And I believe that human beings, by and large, are very focused on the now, right? That's not maybe what I exactly want to say, maybe not expressing that correctly. Let me revise and extend those remarks. I think that there is, unfortunately for a lot of us, a bias towards where we're at right now, right? And so you think about this, and you go to a restaurant and you eat this meal and it's an incredible meal. I say, oh, it's the best meal I've ever tasted. Well, is it really? You know, and how do you judge that? And it may be, but it probably isn't. But it's the best meal that you've had in a while, right? And so you're focused on, you can remember now, you can remember what this tastes like right here, etc. So you get what I'm saying? And so if you were to ask me, John, is it worth it when I won my first national championship at 19 and I defied all the odds and you know, and people said that I was, you know, one of my teachers, physical, you know, PE teachers when I was young, and, you know, no upper body strength, people said that I could never win, people had doubted me, the whole 9 yards, right? It's one of those stories. And I don't want to bore the audience yet with that. I mean, it's a great story, actually, it wouldn't be, but I don't want to distract from this story. But actually, me winning my first national championship is an incredible story. But we'll save that for another show. But it was everything that you could, in my opinion, write a movie about it, all of that. So if you were to ask me right then, is it worth it? I'd say, heck yeah, it was worth it. And literally me winning that national championship in Norman, Oklahoma at 19, that changed my life. So yeah, it was worth it. No different than I would think that if you asked Andrew Luck the day he was drafted, is it worth it? Are you ready to go in the NFL? Are you ready to sacrifice to be in the NFL? He would probably say, absolutely, John. This is my dream. I love it. But that question becomes very different 10 years hence, 20 years hence. You know, talk to Andrew Luck in 15, 20 years, and I bet he would say, either I was so glad I retired this weekend, or he may even say, I wish I had retired earlier. And those feelings are not in conflict because you don't have all the information as a young man or woman going into some of these sports. You don't know what injuries you're going to get. You don't know how bad it's going to hurt. You don't know how disruptive that's going to be to your life. You don't have the perspective of all these other responsibilities and all these other things that you want to do. How about, I mean, it's great to have all that money. How about if Andrew Luck's out there trying to fish or trying to do something else and you can't swim, you can't enjoy it because you just got busted up.
3 minutes.
Because you can't walk, or whatever it is. It's not as fun anymore. And when you have enough money in the bank, how much is too much? How much is enough? It'd be one thing if they had a team they thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's a motivator. But who really thought that the Colts were going to go to the Super Bowl this year? Right? How many people thought that was likely? So I fully respect the decision that Andrew Luck made. I fully understand that. And, you know, I had the luck and the grace of, you know, and obviously, of being able to, I didn't say it, but effectively, I was retired. Effectively, my last powerlifting meet, I won, you know, another national championship, and I was, I won, right? I won best lifter overall in my class, which was amazing. But I can tell you that I was really beat up in that competition. I didn't even know if I was going to make it through that competition. I didn't even know if I was going to get to that competition. I had blasted up, I'd blown up my elbow about a month before, you know, and there was a, cool doctor, won't name the name, that saw me and everything like that. I was benching, I think, I can't remember if it was 465 or 475 or something like that. And it just, went out on me. And, thank goodness it wasn't worse than it was. But I didn't have to have surgery or anything like that. I'm going to have to tell the rest of the story on the other end of this break. But it was swollen up. It was all bad and everything. I mean, it was a bad shape. But that wasn't even the rest of it. I'll tell the rest of the story at the other end of the break, and we'll get into more of these topics. But I just want to put some context on this. You're listening to John D. Villarreal on the John D. Villarreal radio show on 1210 AM Miami. The Man, the only station where you are the man.